Hello, everybody, and welcome to another evening from ITDI in the teacher's room. And we see Mike's in here, and Andy, and Ann Hendler, and our special guest, Renata. Hello, Renata.
Hi there.
Can you teach me how to say your family name? How do I say it?
Yeah, just like that, Renata.
And what
you pronounce it perfectly.
And what about your second name? How do we say that?
Todorovska. Todorovska.
Todorovska. That's fun.
Nice try. Excellent. Yes, now I would say once again, 3 times. Todorovska, Todorovska.
Todorovska, Todorovska, Todorovska. It's challenging. Anyway.
That's what I do with my students.
Good. So we're very, very happy that I put out a call asking if people would be interested to come join us, and you were very enthusiastic, and I'm very, very happy that you came to join us. So thank you very, very much. You're our, of course,
thank you.
You are our first teacher from Macedonia. So I hope maybe some of your friends will come join us as well.
Yeah, I will share my experience, and I will be very happy if there are more teachers from Macedonia, yes, also joining the ITDI Institute.
Good, thank you, thank you. Okay, well, let's
start. It's my pleasure.
Let's get going. Okay, let's get going with, tell us, we always start with, tell us about how you became a teacher, and sort of what's been the history of your teaching, so we understand a little bit about you. Take as much time as you like. Go.
All right, thank you. Well, it was in 1995 or 6, I think. It was almost 24 years from now. I was at the 2nd year of university. And I got an offer to start teaching in a private school for foreign languages. I accepted it. Honestly, I didn't know if I'm good in it, you know. I was only 20. I just wanted to try. And I started teaching, and I can say very fast, very fast. I was not a favorite, but I really had a great communication and relation with the students. And I stayed in that school for 9 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, so that was the start of my career. After 9 years, I started my own school for foreign languages, and I was working in my school for 13 years.
Wow.
While I had about 300 students.
Mm-hmm.
The ages were, the youngest were 4 and 5 years old, and I had teenagers, adults, all ages. I was teaching all day from 11 in the morning until 11 at night. And while I was teaching, I started my postgraduate studies in applied linguistics. And and CELTA Cambridge was suggested by one of my professors there.
Yep.
And then I did CELTA, and I thought, maybe I'm a bit popular in my town, but let me see, because I live in a very small town, but let me see, what are my chances in Europe? I will do CELTA in a European city, and I will see, you know, me teaching versus other teachers from all around the world.
Yeah.
And it was the best experience in my life.
So
then I decided.
Where did you do the CELTA? Which country?
I did CELTA in Slovenia.
Okay.
Greece and Slovenia were the closest countries here around Macedonia, and I did it in Slovenia. At that time, there were candidates from all around the world, Europe, America as well. And I really had the best time there. You know, everything that you know. Even I was teaching for 19 years then. I learned all new things there.
Good.
I completely changed as a teacher.
Wow.
And then I got another idea. Then I decided to sell my school and to travel around the world, to travel and to teach. And I also choose the closest country to start. It was Turkey. I went to Izmir in very nice college. Not one, but I was working in 2 Turkish colleges. I was teaching from kindergarten to high school. Then I decided to travel a bit further, and I went in the Emirates. I was teaching in Slovenia as well. I was teaching in Serbia as well. Now, at the moment, I just came from the Emirates. I'm in Macedonia, and I started for 3 months now. I started online teaching in Japan.
Wow.
You know, yeah, I was kidding with my friends. I said, I've been teaching Turks, Europeans, Emirates, but I've never been teaching Japanese or Chinese. And then the online teaching happened. I wanted to see what kind of teaching is that, and I really enjoy.
Wow. How tell us the story about how did you find the online teaching in Japan, and tell us a little bit about what kinds of students or how long your lessons, a little bit about that.
I helped, I was always also working in Turkey for a recruitment company, and I helped one boy from Serbia to get a job in Turkey. But he's been teaching, he's been teaching online for more than 4 years. And like 4 or 5 months ago, he asked me what are my plans. I said, I have no idea. I will go home. I don't know what to do. I want to teach somewhere, but at the moment, I don't know what I want exactly. And he said, why don't you try online teaching? And he gave me a link to his online company, iTutor is called, from Japan. I applied there. I had the interview. I passed the interview, and now I'm teaching adults and children. The classes for kids are 25 minutes long, and it's very challenging because you have to finish the slides. It's very short time, but you need, attention. You need to be fun. For adults, they are 45 minutes. I just enjoy it. It's completely new experience. It's different from when you communicate face to face.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about what differences do you notice? What things are easier or what things are more difficult teaching online?
I'm a very active person, as you can see, and we have to be face to face so you feel my energy. And I thought that online the students cannot feel my energy and my excitement about teaching and my passion, but I was wrong. Almost most of the comments after the classes that parents or children leave are, she is so energetic, so enthusiastic. And then I realized that even if we are on camera, we can feel ourselves, And
you can see down at the bottom of our screen, there's a button that says chat. Can you see that?
Yeah.
If you click on that, you can see Anne just wrote that we can feel your energy, and me too. We can clearly feel your energy. So that's one difference. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. But before I start online teaching, I didn't know that energy can be felt. Classes are just 25 minutes and you have 12 slides to go through.
Yeah.
And it's a short time and you must engage the student. There are lots of things you take in consideration. But for me, I don't know. I think it's face-to-face classes are easier because I can prolong the time. I can teach 1 hour, 1 hour and 10 minutes. I can engage the student more.
Yeah.
There are pros and cons, but I enjoy both.
Yeah. And
Face
like
to
you
face and
said,
online.
it's something new right now, so that's very exciting, hey?
Yes, new and very nice, and I highly recommend it.
And
Yes.
do you notice any big differences between, say, the Japanese students or the Middle Eastern students or European students? Do you notice differences?
Yes. Arab kids have English as a second language in their country, and they start speaking the language from a very young age. Most of them speak English in the banks, in the supermarkets. Maybe they use it as much as they use the Arabic language, and their pronunciation is great. If I compare them, those Arab kids, with, let's say, Turkish people, oh my God, they're so funny. You can feel the Turkish accent. They make the structure, even the teachers, the structure of the sentence follows the Turkish pattern,
Yes.
They, yeah, they're so funny. Also in Europe, you can feel from which country the teacher is coming, because that European accent is very present. Japanese students, yeah, I feel their Japanese accent, but some of them are really good.
Wow.
Some of them have, yeah, really, really good. Yesterday I had a girl, she is 10, but she is 12, level 12, but her language is wow, her accent, pronunciation, awesome.
Good. Wow.
I found they have difficulties with saying sh. Is
Yeah.
that true?
Yeah. They shouldn't, but yeah, lots do. Yeah. Uh, in the Japanese alphabet, they have the sound sa, shi, su, se, so. So it goes sa, shi, su, se, so, like saying sushi, right?
Yeah, I
But
understand.
sometimes when they're speaking English, it comes out differently, and it's a challenge for some of them.
Yes, for some of them, even if they repeat many times the word, they say s instead of sh.
Yeah, yeah,
I noticed that.
yeah, yeah. So how long have you been teaching online now?
For almost 4 months now.
Wow. Are you able to fit into a special time, like in the morning, or is it all different times?
You have open classrooms 24 hours a day,
Yeah,
but there are also peak hours, and yeah, it's okay. Usually from my 7 in the morning until my 3 afternoon.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's okay. Yesterday I had 9 classes. Sometimes I have 6, sometimes 12.
Yeah.
It's 25 minute sessions, so it's not that exhausting.
Right, right. I see. Wow.
Yes, I enjoyed.
What about, I often tell people I taught in the elementary school for about 9 years, and I learned how to teach children effectively, but I never really loved it so much. I find that with older students, for me, I guess the senior high school students and the beginning of university students, I get a lot of personal satisfaction from teaching them. So I'm wondering with you, do you have any group of students that you think is best for you or matches you, or how do you feel about different kinds of students?
I personally think that if we motivate the students enough, we can teach them whatever they want. Yeah, I have had experience teaching all level of students. I can say that I really enjoy teaching kindergarten students
Really?
Maybe, yes, maybe because I was teaching abroad and they find you a different teacher, you know,
Yep.
interesting, exotic, I would say. And in Izmir, in Turkey, for example, we had such a relation. I don't know how they understood everything. They were 4, 5. Even when they wanted to go to the toilet, they wanted to speak so much English, and they were just pointing and saying, "Teacher, toilet." You know, they were trying everything just to speak to me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I think teenagers are a bit difficult. Yes,
Yes.
they need. Yeah, very difficult. My daughter is a teenager, so
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I know what it is like.
yeah, yeah.
And but with adults, I enjoy the most.
Really?
Hmm.
Wow.
I like the most teaching adults. Yes.
Hmm. Okay.
Uh,
Let's so back to the original school. You worked for 9 years. Was that a language school?
yeah, that was the first language school in my country, and I'm so pleased that I had that opportunity to learn. I don't know, from the best teachers. They
Yeah.
send us some. We attended lots of seminars and conferences. And the owner of the school is so, she still has the school, she's so dedicated to teaching. I think almost many of my base or many of the things I know about teaching came from her.
Wow.
She's so positive, and I learned lots. You know, I was just 20. I was just not a kid, but I just left my mom and dad. You know, I went in the capital city, and at that time, she had so much influence on me, and I learned lots of things. And then I decided that I really want to be a teacher.
Wow. That's a great role model for you.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. So you just mentioned about how being positive is very important, right? Do you have a list of 2 or 3 ideas that are the basis of your teaching?
You know, I'm very cheerful. I was born like this, and that's a very positive in my profession, in my job. Why? Because the contract I sign while I'm in my country with a foreign country, with a foreign college,
Yeah.
is completely different when I go and when they see me face to face. Because when you go abroad, you bring yourself and your knowledge,
Yep.
and that passion and that love towards teaching is very easily recognized.
Yep.
And I think that children and adults as well can easily feel if you love your job, if you love what you do, you cannot lie them.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
they just see your eyes, you know, they just see your energy. So I think being positive, outgoing, and cheerful, they are the 3 things.
yeah, yeah. And you also said being passionate about teaching. Yeah.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. I want my children to be excited about the subject they're learning, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They must love the language and feel the language.
And so
When I was,
what
yes.
percent, give me an example of either, I mean, children are pretty open, aren't they? They're open to liking anything that the teacher is excited about. And then it's certainly more difficult with teenagers who want to be unhappy about everything. You know, it's more challenging. So when you start a new class, what are some of the messages that you want to try to, I mean, they see you, being energetic and cheerful, but I wonder what are some of the messages that you want to give to the students? What comes to your mind?
The first thing I want them to know is that I care about them.
Oh, I love you, Renata. That's wonderful. Yes. Wow.
I want them to know that I care about them, I respect them, and I'm here to help them. I'm not here to put knowledge in their heads. No, I'm here to help them, to facilitate the learning, the process of learning, because everyone learns in a different way. So I'm in the class to see, to feel them, to feel their energy, to help them, to make something better tomorrow. I want them to enjoy my classes.
Yeah. So let's go in together. Let's think about that. Imagine a new teacher is watching this video, and we want to teach them, we want to tell them, how can we show students we care about them? What are some specific things we do to show students we care about them?
I respect what they say. I want to hear what they have to say. I want them, everyone, to speak to me. I don't see them as a group. I see them as, you know, a one by one, a person.
Yeah.
And when we speak about younger learners, I hug them all. You know, the physical contact is very important. The eye contact is very important.
Yes, yes. I noticed that I'm when I notice they got a haircut, or when I notice something different, and they always go, yeah. You noticed? Yeah, of course I noticed. It's, you know.
Same.
Yeah, same, hey?
I feel that, yeah, I don't see them as a group. Yes, that's right, Anne. You know, when I'm teaching abroad, I'm the one, I'm a foreigner, and all of the parents know me. You know, especially in the Arab world, honestly, mothers and fathers, they were all the same to me, all wearing their traditional, you know, clothing. And if kids like you, they immediately come and offer you home tutoring, you know. So in Turkey, in Slovenia, and in the Emirates, I accepted. In fact, I accepted several children, and I went in their houses. I was teaching them, and that's the way they tell you, we like you. You're a great teacher. You know, they invite you in their homes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. You know? I think that's the only word we didn't talk about when we talked about passion and cheerful and energetic and positive. I think the only other word I would do, and you said showing that you care about them, I think those are the top ones. And the only other one I would add is to build trust.
Yes.
Yeah. And right from the moment I walk into the classroom at the beginning, I'm trying to get them to trust me and to respect them, that they can trust me, and that I'm gonna do my best to try to make the time yes. we are together useful or enjoyable.
I always say, if we trust each other, if I motivate them enough, I can teach them everything.
Yep.
When I had my school here in Macedonia, I had young teachers coming and having classes in my school. And the first thing I was telling my colleagues was, it doesn't matter that you're coming in my school. I want you to feel at home. If you build that relaxing, friendly atmosphere in your classroom, believe me, you will feel, first of all, you will feel great. You will teach very smoothly and relaxing, and the students will feel that.
Yes, absolutely.
The
Yeah.
friendly, relaxing atmosphere is everything, because students are afraid to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you create that relaxing atmosphere, if you tell them that that's normal, I make mistakes myself as well,
Me
you
too.
know, and they're calm, they're not free to speak, even if they make mistakes, because mistakes are part of the process of learning, and
Yes.
they're something normal. You shouldn't be afraid.
Yeah. And that's a
That's
big
my philosophy.
that's a wonderful philosophy. It's a big problem in Japan because everything is focused on testing and focused on accuracy. So and the testing gets more and more difficult, and so it's based on accuracy and complexity, but there's very little time to actually focus on fluency and output. It's all listening and reading, and you're right or you're wrong. And so many students are damaged by that kind of feeling wrong or feeling afraid to make mistakes. Hey, that's a
Yes.
yeah.
The same here in Macedonia, in my country. I see, my daughter is ninth grade, and in Macedonia, English, the language, the learning of the language is focused on grammar.
Yes.
What I don't like is when they just started first grade or second grade. They don't even know how to properly hold the pencil. And immediately in September, at the end of the September, they got a dictation in English. How come?
Yeah.
In Macedonia, we write as we speak, but in English, that's not the case. The writing is different.
Yes.
And it's a very grammar-based teaching.
Mm-hmm.
According to me, children have to learn how to communicate in the language. But
Yes.
they're under stress about the test, whether they will know, I don't know, 70 irregular verbs by heart, or they will know the present perfect or the past simple. No, they have to know how to use, when to speak in present perfect. They don't have to know that it is present perfect, just to speak it,
Yeah.
to communicate. I love the system in Norway. I think in Norway, it's important to communicate the language. They don't pay attention on testing and dictations.
Right. And it seems like we have some people here. Paul Nation is very famous as a teacher and trainer, and he talks about the balance, the 4 skills balanced approach to learning, reading,
Yes.
writing, listening, and speaking. And
Yes. Yes.
I used to, when I first started teaching, I had speaking and listening, and my students never did reading or writing. That was the Japanese teacher's job, and so I realized that was a stupid way to do it. It's just much better to use all 4 skills together doing activities, because everybody has a chance to shine, or everybody has a chance to be good at something. Yeah, so
That was my role in Turkey. Their Turkish teacher was teaching writing. She was teaching listening and reading. I was teaching writing and speaking. Yes.
Yeah. So input
That's
and
divided.
yeah.
Yeah. But I think all 4 skills at the same time have to be, developed and improved.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Right. Right.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I usually tell my students, even at the lower level students, your message will be telegraphic, want, eat cake, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
Because nouns come first, then verbs. But these little words, my, her, you, the, they come later. But don't worry, I say, it's very important if I understand you and you understand me. That's the beginning.
That's success, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I usually tell them that you're like toddlers now. Every mother is proud when at the age of 1 or 15 months, when we say, wow, I told my baby, can you give me the remote control? And the baby gave it to me, because understanding comes before speaking, you know? And I say, you're now like toddlers, because they always say, we understand you everything, but we cannot construct, you know, such sentence. And then I explain why.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun. That's a good answer. Let's go into how, I guess we're talking about it already, but let's talk about how people learn a language. You just started by saying that we get a lot of input first as babies, and then it comes with output. Think about some of your students that you remember, how they learned, or for example, I'll tell you one story, that there was a girl, her name was Misato. And Misato, in the summer or the winter, she always wore her sweater over her uniform, and she had long hair, and she always carried her school bag to every class. And it was a little bit mysterious until one day I realized she had her CD player inside her bag, and her earphones went under her sweater, and her hair covered. And she spent 3 years listening all through high school, listening to English music in all the classes she didn't like, because she was determined to learn English her way. And she was very successful. She lives in America now. She's got 2 children, and it's a fantastic story of her deciding how she wanted to learn. So do you have student stories you can tell us about anything that you learned from a student, or students' interesting ways they studied English?
I had a student who was a very successful businessman from my town, but didn't speak the language.
Yeah.
And he was often invited by a Swiss company.
Okay.
Yes, and but he didn't go there in the factory. He didn't want to meet the manager because he didn't speak English, and he was afraid, he was ashamed, because he's really important but does not speak the language. And he came and he said, please, I have to learn the language. I have to go in Switzerland. I have to meet the managers. And I really tried hard, but also he was so dedicated, and he wanted to learn the language so much. And we had classes every day, and I developed a new method of teaching with him. I really wanted him to learn the language fast, but you know, that's a process. You cannot say you will learn it in 2 months or 5 months. I explained that.
Yeah.
And even the first class, because he started from 0, I started on the whiteboard, or on a white sheet of paper. I was writing in my language everything we learned the previous class, and I wanted him to say it in English.
Good.
Trust me, I was feeling his brain working, how much he struggled to get the words out. And we were learning together maybe for 3 or 4 years. And the 4th year, he decided to go to Switzerland. He went there, he visited the factory, he was talking with the managers, and he called me on Skype and he said, teacher, the factory is as big as our town, And all day we were going around and I was speaking English all day, and they understood me and I understood everything they said. And I was very happy.
Yes.
Because he really tried hard, I tried hard, and this is one successful story.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I use these kinds of, I wrote a list of about 25 successful stories that I try to tell my students, to show them that there's so many different ways to be successful, and then I say, maybe I'm going to tell your story someday. And you know, if you find a way to make an effort, right? It's,
Yes,
to me,
that's right. But
yeah.
But it depends on the person as well. You know, when before I went in Slovenia and take CELTA, I was asked, while I was having the interview, they asked me, "Are you shy? Are you afraid?" Because they said, "We are going to leave all kind of comments about you during the course, even about body language, about everything." And I said, "Yeah, I'm ready, no problem." And now when my daughter is growing up, I'm telling her everything is here in your brain, in your thoughts. You can achieve everything, but you just have to want it that much.
Yes.
And to try hard.
Yeah.
And never stop learning.
Mm-hmm. I've been reading a lot about what kinds of things affect learning, and it said one of the biggest, it's the second biggest thing, is students' own self-expectations. If they want to get here, they'll get here. They'll figure out how to get it. And so I'm spending more time in class trying to, not teaching, but trying to talk about what kinds of goals you want to make, and showing them opportunities that they can do anything that they decide they want to do if they're willing to make the effort, right?
Yes, that's right. I follow that example all my life. Now at the moment, I want to tell the teachers, my colleagues here in my region, even you're not natives, if you're dedicated, if you like teaching, you can teach everywhere you want.
Yes.
If you don't stay in one place, you know, don't limit yourself.
Yeah.
I tell them, to all these young girls and boys, go there, take international diploma, because, you know, but first, our role as a teacher is to motivate the students to develop their thinking skills and especially communication skills.
Yeah.
We are that facilitator. And because everyone comes in the classroom with different ideas, with different thoughts, but you know, we have to make that environment. We have to put the love for the language, because they see us as role models, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
We have to inspire them. We have to be inspiration for them.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
And I told them it's a lifelong skill, because you need the language. You don't know when in your life, maybe one day you will earn money with the knowledge of English language, you know?
Yes.
I also tell them stories, how someone is successful, how they were learning.
Yes.
How they
we know stories are so powerful, aren't they? Yeah.
Of course, because they come from the experience, and they like it when they hear as well as we all want to hear what other people, what they have done, how they have succeeded, how far they have gone.
Yeah. Okay, let me change the topic a little bit. I'm curious, how much do you use music in the classroom, or iPhones, or computers, or what kinds of extra things? I have no idea in Macedonia or in other places you were teaching, how much are those useful tools in your teaching?
Mm-hmm. Um, in my teaching, I use lots of pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, I use everything. I use everything that's around me. I how can I say, I'm not a teacher that follows a strict pattern. I start the class, but I don't know but I don't know the process, because during the teaching, I got the ideas. I just feel the atmosphere,
Me too.
and I
Me
got
too.
1,000 ideas.
Yes, but I couldn't do that when I first started teaching, because I was so worried about the textbook or what's next, or it took
Yeah.
years and years. But now
Yeah.
I will change my ideas instantly by just
Yeah.
reading the situation in the classroom.
Yeah, it takes time, and experience is everything. At first, I was following the teacher's books,
Yes.
but there are lots of things that during the years we have gathered in our mind. Now you just throw me, I don't know where, and I will start the class immediately.
Yeah.
I have about 20 or 30 photos I've taken during my travelings.
Yep.
Not all of them are personal. Some nature, I know, some buildings. I have a photo of, I sent it to the ITDI Institute. I have a photo of my daughter, just like this, lying on the grass, a green grass all around her. And I usually deliver the pictures to my students.
Yes.
And I want them, to see the picture and to tell me, what do you feel? What emotions you get looking at this picture?
That's great. That's great.
Describe the picture. You can make class out of everything.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
The effective learning.
That's right. That's right. How about in the world of English language teaching? You mentioned your boss, the first owner of the school, had a big influence on you. Are there other people that you can tell us about who had an influence on your teaching?
Yes, she was the first one. I had some professors at the university. Let me go back. When I was, I was raised in the communistic era of Tito and Yugoslavia.
Okay.
At that time, our teachers were old-fashioned, and there was just a blackboard, old ladies. I loved them so much. And all of a sudden, one summer, when I was, I think, at the age of 13 or 14, I was enrolled in a school in Reading, in England,
Okay.
to attend a summer school.
Okay.
I went there and I saw something completely different. I saw young teachers having fun, sitting on the desks. And then as a child, I said, wow, this is amazing. I wish I had these teachers in my classroom, because my teacher was, I think, 59, 63. She was strict. She was not that modern.
Yeah.
And that changed my idea of teaching a lot. Then my university teachers and the CELTA tutors were great. And honestly, all the 3 courses I have attended with the ITDI, they changed me so much.
Really?
Yes. It was 2 years ago, the Teaching Young Learners Effectively course.
With Juan.
Yes, from Brazil. I've been teaching young learners for 20 years. I know all the songs and rhymes and games. Everything is in my head. And I said, shall I enroll this course? Will I learn anything? After the course, I enjoyed it so much. I think I learned lots of new things.
Yes.
Yes, and it had a big influence on my teaching.
There we
And
go.
now I use his methods of teaching.
I'm gonna send him this video and say, watch this video until 46 minutes, and then he will hear this. Yeah, we love him. Yeah, he'll be so happy to hear that from you.
Thank you.
He was so
But
creative, right? He was so creative, and
yes,
that whole affective filter. Hey, he was just so love the children. Yeah.
yes, he is so creative, and you can never say that you are creative enough. There is always more and more
Yeah.
and more to be learned.
Yes.
You know, but I learned so many things from
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. So do you think you know other teachers in Macedonia who maybe they're not so active to go online or to join other groups or to challenge themselves? Do you think it's only because of fear? Are they just afraid, or is it? Sometimes I wonder, because the more active I become, the more I continue to learn. I've been doing this 30 years, and I just continually get new ideas and new inspirations. But I don't understand sometimes why other people don't take the first step. What do you think?
That is what I'm thinking almost. Yes, I think about it every day. I speak with my colleagues. On one side, I understand them, but on the other side, I try to change them.
Yeah.
I was, mm, there are not many people like me in Macedonia who go abroad and teach. First of all, they're afraid because they're not natives,
Yeah.
and they see it, I don't know, as an obstacle to go there abroad. And it's a fear. They don't know what to expect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that's the first thing. And the other thing, the salaries are so low. They don't have, the motivation to do anything but go through the text, do the exercises, give the homework.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, I cannot, but I personally think that the secret is inside of us. I can also be a school teacher here in Macedonia. That's not a challenge for me,
Mm.
honestly.
Mm.
I want to go there abroad. I want to meet new people. I want to start my PhD studies. The more you learn, the more you see that there is more. There is always, you're digging deep. You're never deep enough.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I feel that way. And lots of them stop me on the streets and they ask me, are you here? Someone heard that I was teaching, I don't know where, and they asked me,
Yeah.
wow, I saw you in Dubai. Were you teaching there? How did you get there? I said, it's easy. You just have to want it enough.
Yeah, that's right.
I think they are afraid of the change.
Yeah. Yeah, and humans are generally afraid of change. It's true. Do
Yes.
you have in terms of teaching, reading or writing or listening or speaking, do you have a favorite among those four?
I'm more for these productive skills, speaking and writing.
Uh-huh.
They're harder, and that's why I force my students to speak the language, to use the language. I often told them they are used to reading, because in our schools they read a lot aloud.
Yes.
And I said, no, read it for yourself and tell me what is it about. And they're surprised. Don't you want me to read it for you? I said, no. They say, why? I said, because if I imagine you sitting in an underground in London, and there are lots of ads going there, and I don't, okay.
I'm here now. I'm parked down the road. Okay, can you walk down this? No, not to Family Mart, the other way. I'm parked after Mabuchi. Yeah. Okay, down by the parking. Nani? Hi. So, Family Mart no ho janai. Hantai. Family Mart no ho janai. Hantai no hoko. Hi, bye-bye. Sorry, my daughter just called. She finished her school. She's going to walk this way to my car. Sorry about that.
All right.
Yeah.
And I tell them, do you know why? Because if you're in an underground or in a bus in London now, I don't expect that you're going to read all these ads there. You're going to read it for yourself and try to understand it.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, there's a big problem with reading out loud because people are focused on the sound and they're not focused on the meaning at all.
Yeah, that's what I think. They're focused on how to pronounce,
yes,
not to make mistake. But when you read it for yourself, then you think about it.
That's right. Yeah.
I think the same, yeah.
We're near the end here, but I always ask people at the end. Sorry, one more time. Hi. Yeah, just wait in front of the Juku and I'll be a few minutes, okay? Bye-bye. She can't find me, so she's waiting. But let's wrap up with this question is what are you interested in personally and professionally? What's something new that you're interested in personally or professionally?
I'm interested professionally in how brain learns.
Oh, wow.
I'm so excited about it. I read books about it, articles, and there is an article that nouns come first before verbs, and I would like to test that hypothesis with 10, 11, 12 years old.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I plan to do in February now.
That's very cool.
In my daughter's school. And privately, I love traveling, jogging, hiking. Hiking is my big love.
Wow. I got tired of traveling. I still like it sometimes, but I remember I had the passion for traveling, but it stopped for me, but it's still going for you.
I have my ups and downs. When I come from abroad, I said, I need a rest. I will be home now. I will be working from home. But that lasts only for some time, month or two. Yeah. And then I'm ready for the new adventure, you know?
Okay.
I find myself thinking, what will excite you more now? If you got a very beautiful job here in your country, or if you got a mail and you're invited to teach, I don't know, in Abu Dhabi. And then, yes, my heart starts pop, Abu Dhabi.
Yep, that's exciting. Do you do any teacher training now in Macedonia?
No, I did that in Turkey, in Izmir. Yeah. I did some with the Arabs.
Did you enjoy training other teachers?
Very much.
Okay.
Very much, yes.
I'm going to wrap up this. I want you to think about someday you should do a course like Juan Uribe was doing for us. You should teach an ITDI course with us someday as a challenge in your future. Okay?
I would love to.
Think about
it. I would love to. Thank you so much. I also have some articles written I would like to share with the magazine and with the ITDI as well.
We will follow up with you and get you doing more with us, because that would be a wonderful a way to continue to see you and to work with you. So Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm pleased, I'm honored and excited.
Yeah, so everybody, I've got to go pick up my daughter, so we're going to wrap up here. If anybody wants to come on, I'll leave the room open for another few minutes while I drive over to pick up my daughter. If anybody wants to turn on their microphone or their video camera, you can say hi or ask a question if you like. And once I get to my daughter, then I'll turn off the recording. Or maybe I'll turn off the recording and then you can feel free to come in and say hello. Let's see, we're gonna stop the recording.